We're reacting to the breaking news here that Amon-Ra St. Brown is back with the Detroit Lions, getting a contract extension. It is a contract. 4 years, $120 million, $77 million guaranteed. First reported by Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. And look, I mean, I don't think anybody is anti-Amon-Ra. That is a ton of money. And when you sign a player to what could make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league for now, that is, the kind of deal that you love having him back. I don't think there's nobody that's anti-Amon-Ra. But you wonder if this is going to cost him anything or anyone down the road. Cool. If they can afford it, there's no way they're signing Amon-Ra to a contract where they go, well, we got him, but now we can't afford Goff. Right? You would have to think it's 0.0. Amon-Ra loves playing for Jared Goff. Jared Goff relies on and counts. He's his go-to guy. Yep. There's no way that they would sign one of them to a contract that would handcuff him to not being able to sign the other, correct?
Well, I'm not going to totally discount that. I think, of the two, you got one guy who's younger and one guy who, you can look at the chicken and the egg thing, who makes who better. I think Amon-Ra can play with any quarterback that's out there. It's not to say that Goff can't play with any receiver that's out there, but I think Amon-Ra might have the edge when it comes to that. So would I expect the Lions to extend Goff? I do. I do expect them to extend Goff. But they can't go crazy with the extension with Goff. And this is where I get nervous here, right? I'm not saying give Amon-Ra the money, sure. And I know the cap's going to go up, and that's fine. And this is the cost of doing business. And whether it's Jared Goff throwing him passes or, quarterback question mark throwing him passes, he's going to catch him. But do you then commit $50 million a year to Goff, and you have $80 million tied up in two guys?
I just can't imagine not bringing back Goff. But I also can't imagine now anybody that's contract is up saying, I'll give you a hometown discount.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wouldn't expect Goff to come in at more than $50 million a year on an extension, even though he's probably worth it in an open market.
Well, I'd agree with you. I didn't expect Amon-Ra to get this.
But he did.
Yeah. And
so now does that mean that you can't give Goff more than 50?
I don't know. You can't.
And this is
Kang, I want your take on this before we get to the phone calls. How you feel about it and the overall ramifications of this deal?
Well, I think it definitely affects the contracts of every other player on the team. Now, if you want to bring back Jared Goff, because Goff and ASB are hand-in-hand, like you're saying, Doug, they can do that, okay? They can pay him upwards of $50 million per year. That then trickles down to other guys on the team, though. Hutch, Sewell, Ali McNeil. You know what I mean? Like, that's where you start losing. Jonah Jackson, they wanted him to bring him back at one point, but then they realized we're not going to be close on numbers for whatever. We're just not there. They had to move on. So this affects everyone on the team. I expect them to bring back Jared Goff or extend Jared Goff, but I think a guy like Ali McNeil, he's got 1 year left. And the prices of defensive tackles are outrageous right now,
exactly.
Right? And so I don't think
tackles. What's the probability on that?
And that's why I think the Lions are going to go get someone like aggressive, man. Maybe look at Newton seriously, because they got to look at the future as well. So yes, you got to bring back ASB. That's the market. That's the market for a player his caliber. But now, how do you structure the rest of the roster?
Hit rate on defensive tackles is 40%. But what's crazy about this is, and it's one of the flaws in the data, is this data is accumulated by very specific team that drafted you, sign you to a second contract. If the Lions don't re-sign Aleem McNeil, it's not because it wasn't a hit. It was because they can't afford him.
Right.
But defensive tackles in the last 20 drafts from 2000 to 2019, there were 60 taken in the first round. 24 re-signed with the team that drafted him. Wow. 248-539-9797. Show took a left turn. Let's go to Nathan. You're on 97.1 to Ticket. Hi, Nathan.
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
We're doing good.
Good. No, we were talking about. Well, first of all, "whoa" is a good word for that. But
Yeah.
but we'll move on from that because what I was calling about is one of my favorite sounds in sports, and it's local. So I'm a season ticket holder for the Flint Firebirds OHL team, right? So anytime somebody comes out of the penalty box from the other team, they'll go, "And the Sioux or whoever has returned to full strength," and the entire crowd at the same time yells, "And they still suck." And it's just really fun. It's cool to, that's one of my favorite sounds.
So
When
you
the entire
respond
crowd-
when you hear somebody returns to full strength.
Well, at the opposite team, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I used to. I remember.
yeah, no, it's
I was at a Michigan Bowling Green game back when I was young, high school, and Michigan was on a power play or killing a penalty, and some Bowling Green fan yelled out, "Hey, what's that smell?" And then they said Michigan at full strength, and I thought that was pretty clever.
That is.
So I've done that occasionally, but
love it.
yeah, no, I hear you. Thank you very much for the phone call, 248-539-9797. We go to Mike next on 97 to Ticket. What's up, Mike?
Mike's gone. Go to
Oh,
Terry.
we lost Mike. Let's go to Terry. You're next on 97 to Ticket. Hi, Terry.
How you doing?
What's up?
I called about 3 weeks ago. I had this idea with golf. I love golf, but I see that we could have had a lot of value with him. I wanted to save our draft picks that we have. I knew we would get in this situation. I was told I was nonsensical. I just felt that we get a lot of value for him, and we'd be a better team that way. And I was just wondering what you guys think about that.
A better team. What?
What way? What are you talking about?
You're saying trade Jared Goff?
Well, yeah. If
No.
we got 2 number ones and a number 2 like we did for Stafford, I mean, because I don't want to lose these players that we got. We've
All right,
never
so
been able
who's-
to draft like this ever.
So you think you'd be better off without him? Okay. So who's the quarterback?
Well, we've got a rookie there. He would have went number 1. There's a good chance he would have went number 1 if he hadn't been hurt.
I don't know. There's a good chance he
And,
would have been a first-round pick for sure, but he also hasn't played a single down in the NFL.
Well,
and
I
you're
know
willing
that-
to stake the reputation on it.
Well, I also know the draft capital that we would get for golf would solidify everything in our team other than, you're right, the quarterback. So we would be gambling in that sense. So I just trying to say, weigh it. Is that a better gamble, or is losing some of these stars that
I would say this.
we're going to probably lose?
For me, I want to take the chance of this team the next few years to win a Super Bowl championship, and that means Jared Goff at quarterback. That means, it means trying to re-sign all the guys you can. All right, while you can, it may even put more impetus on this season, like to go all out this year to try to do it, because if you're Brad Holmes, that you can't keep everybody, and at the end of the season, hopefully you're holding a Lombardi Trophy in your hand. And then he can set it down and get to the unfortunate business of letting people know, by the way, we can't bring you back. It's cost prohibitive. But I think it puts impetus on this season. Win it.
I don't think I know it all. I don't believe that. I try to be as open as I can be to other ideas and different ways to look at things. I have no interest in my man's plan. None whatsoever. Like 0.0. Let him get it out. There might be people that agree with him. No interest in his plan.
Well, I mean, you're torpedoing the season if you do that now.
Why torpedo a team that has Super Bowl aspirations because he's worried about signing guys down the road? I'm in favor of signing Goff to an extension. We can make the talk about franchising him and maybe even franchising him a second time to hang on to him for another 2 years and then hand it off to Hooker. And I can't even believe I just said that. That, though, would have more merit than trading him now for draft picks because our guy's so good at drafting. That way we can keep more players when this team's trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No interest in that plan.